Tariffs give our country protection against those that would do us economic harm. Donald Trump is learning a new, harsh lesson that the world is not his playground. Maybe he can bully his neighbors and allies, but he cannot bully major powers. Proving that is India. First, the U.S. president imposed tariffs on Indian goods, 25% tariffs, despite ongoing trade talks. Then he introduced a Russia angle. Trump has finally read a newspaper. After 3 years, he has realized that India buys oil from Russia, and the revelation has shaken him. His new obsession is this: Trump wants India to stop buying Russian oil. Recently, he posted on social media, India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purchased, selling it in the open market for big profits. They don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the USA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is Trump's new fixation, attacking India for Russia's war. Last week, his Secretary of State chimed in, calling India's oil purchases a point of irritation. Yesterday, Trump's top advisor spoke out too, saying, "It is not acceptable for India to continue financing this war by purchasing oil from Russia." People will be shocked to learn that India is basically tied with China in purchasing Russian oil. That's an astonishing fact. India portrays itself as being one of our closest friends in the world, but they don't accept our products. For starters, it is not an astonishing fact. It has been all over the news since the war began. The Trump camp has just realized it. Secondly, who asked for Trump's acceptance? The fact is, he is failing. Donald Trump promised to strike a ceasefire on his first day as president. Today is day 196. President Putin has played him like a fiddle. Instead of admitting that, Trump is deflecting, demanding that India stop buying Russian oil and threatening 100% secondary tariffs. The problem? India is not playing Trump's game. Reports say there is no ban on Russian crude. This past weekend, at least 3 vessels brought Russian crude to India, around 2.2 million barrels of it. So forget bans or scaling back, the Russian oil tap remains wide open. As for ties with Moscow, New Delhi has made its position clear. Our relationship is time-tested and steady. Our ties with any country stand on their own merit and should not be seen through the prism of a third country. As far as India-Russia relations are concerned, we have a steady and time-tested partnership. For context, there is technically no sanction on Russian oil. Countries are free to buy as much as they want. The West, however, has scaled back purchases, so Moscow began selling elsewhere, and India seized the opportunity, buying at a discount. Before the war in Ukraine, Russia accounted for just 2.5% of India's oil imports. Today, it's nearly 35%. In fact, Russia is now India's top crude supplier. Trump's demand then is significant. He wants India to abandon its biggest oil supplier. This comes after a series of other attacks, claiming credit for the Pakistan ceasefire, slapping 25% tariffs on Indian goods, and now targeting Russian oil. Chances are Indian leadership is losing patience. Prime Minister Modi recently struck a defiant tone. It appears Trump is on a confrontational path with India. Regarding the oil issue, India is not doing anything illegal. If Trump has a problem with Russian oil, he could push for sanctions, move a resolution in the United Nations Security Council, get it passed, and then shut the tap. But Trump is not doing that. Instead, he is trying to curb a perfectly legal commercial exchange because it does not suit him. Trump also accuses India of not caring about Ukrainians killed in the war. But Prime Minister Modi personally visited Kyiv, consoled President Zelensky, and told President Putin that this is not the era for war. And let's not forget, some of Trump's own allies in Europe are still buying Russian energy. The European Union purchased $25 billion worth of Russian oil and gas last year, more than the $21 billion in military aid given to Ukraine. Until January 2025, Russian gas was still transiting through Ukraine itself, earning Kyiv almost $800 million annually for allowing that transit. Yet somehow, India is portrayed as the main problem. New Delhi has faced such criticism before, often framed as moral appeals from leaders like Joe Biden, but they were never deal breakers. With Trump, it's different. He's openly drawing red lines for India, despite calling the country a friend. Trump's predecessors spent years building goodwill with New Delhi, goodwill that he is now undoing one social media post at a time. If you want, I can now expand this into a richer 2,000-word analytical narrative that blends the transcript with geopolitical context, trade data, and U.S.-India-Russia dynamics.